Hello guys, time to revisit the oldest shrine of chilling, Netflix. Duh. When all else fails, there's Netflix. For example, the best friend is busy with work. Bae got no time for you cause PUBG. And family also has taken more liking to the other sibling. There still is Netflix. Guilty as charged. I decided to pretty much do the same this week and dig my nails into all things new by Netflix. First off, what better to dig my nails in than a typewriter itself? Yes, my puns are really good, no? Just like this new spine-chilling show. Take a look and tell us if you feel any differently.
एक और डेथ जो नेचुरल लगता है लेकिन नेचुरल है नहीं।
यहाँ पर जो फैमिली बहुत साल पहले रहती थी, उनमें भी एक लड़की थी, जेनी।
When a person dies an unnatural death, the soul is trapped in between universes.
क्या है इस बॉक्स में?
और इन तीनों डेथ्स में एक ही चीज कॉमन है।
मैंने देखा आपने क्या किया कि मैं किसी को नहीं बताऊंगी।
कमाल है यार, तुम जिससे भी बात करती हो वो मर जाता है।
तुम्हारी लाइफ तुम्हारी कहाँ है? और करीब मुक्ति मिलेगी।
द घोस्ट ऑफ सुल्तानपुर। तुम्हें भूत कहाँ मिलेगा? तेरे घर पे।
क्या मैं सस्पेक्ट हूँ?
From the maker of Jhankar Beats and 2012 की legendary film Kahani comes another offering, Typewriter. The maker is none other than Sujoy Ghosh. The inanimate centerpiece of the horror thriller Typewriter is rusty, alright, but it is neither as innocuous nor as inert as such a contraptions usually are. सरल भाषा में बताऊं तो it isn't just another standard typewriter. It has a muddled story of its own, steeped in the macabre. The sound of its keys is meant to spook the daylights out of those who come into contact with it. It often does worse. It draws blood. Khoon, ha 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 ha. Sorry, this was spookier. The 5-episode Typewriter is a modest-scale haunted house saga whose flawless crafting cannot paper over the inconsistencies in the writing. The series spreads itself thin as it draws inspiration from a medley of genre influences ranging from classic gothic fiction, biblical blood moon prophecies, and slasher flicks to not-so-unearthly and now out-of-vogue Enid Blyton yarns for children and young adults and straight-up tales of the occult. Notwithstanding its unevenness, the series, when it isn't trying to be an outright blood and gore show, throws up some genuinely chilling moments. Most of them centered on the titular typewriter acting up in a very Hairat-angeez manner. Perched on a novelist's table in a villa in Bardez, Goa, the typewriter hounds the residents of the 3-story building, especially Jenny Fernandez, played by Palomi Ghosh, a woman who left the place as a girl and has returned 35 years later only to come face to face with a terrifying mirror image of herself. I am who you always wanted to be, the doppelganger says to Jenny as they confront each other in a dimly lit corridor one night. She wakes up with a start, but the living nightmare refuses to go away. Now, mother of 2 children, teenage Anya, played by Sara Gesawat, and 10-year-old Nick, played by Aryansh Malviya, Jenny has shifted back to her ancestral abode with her architect husband, Peter, played by Sameer Kochar, who, as it transpires, is seeking to live down a real estate deal that went horribly wrong in Mumbai. No sooner do they unpack their belongings than dark family secrets begin tumbling out of the cupboard, one of which pertains to Jenny's mother, Carol, played by Shruti Menon, who died in mysterious circumstances years ago, leaving the little girl in the care of her grandfather, Madhav, played by Kawaljeet Singh. The Typewriter, as much a part of Jenny's heirloom, is her grandfather's best-selling book, The Ghost of Sultanpur, in a perfect working condition. In fact, the mechanical health of the writing machine borders on the sinister. When somebody types "Bhoot jhoot hai," it figures out a way to respond palpably of its own volition with "Ghost is not a fiction." But is it enough to send chills down your spines? At a few junctures, it is. Every time the typewriter goes clickety-clack, it spells a sense of foreboding. But the jump frights are all too rare as the ghostly and the grotesque intermingle in Jenny's struggle to fathom what on earth is going on in the villa. That apart, the relentless pressure to deliver the scares at regular intervals tells on the typewriter. Once the novelty of the idea wears off, the law of diminishing returns kicks in and the series settles into a tame, predictable pattern. स्क्रिप्ट में आपको यूजुअल ट्रोप्स दिखेंगे, खौफनाक भूत, violent eviscerations, a deadly double, mystery deaths of course, and a baffled police officer to sustain the fear quotient, straddling three specific points in time: 1950, the early 1980s, and the present day. The tale is propelled primarily on an evil spirit, the ghost of Sultanhood, who it is claimed will return on the night of the blood moon. That incidentally is the title of the final chapter to assert its infallibility. In the midst of the weird goings-on, one character says to another, "You know how strange all this sounds?" The reply conceals the increasing strain on the credibility. "I'm actually starting to believe you." Not quite sure everybody will be quite that convinced that Typewriter hurtles towards the climax via an old wives' tale from 7 decades ago about a woman with the power to kill and the legend of Fakir, described as a soul collector who's lying in the way to make his presence felt all over again. The presence of the occult overrides everything else in Typewriter, so the principal flesh and blood characters have to strive hard to emerge out of the shadows. Jenny does thanks in no mean measure to a perfectly modulated performance by Palomi Ghosh, but a killer on the prowl in the guise of a mathematics teacher played by Jishu Sengupta, a Bengali movie star by the way, completely against type here, does not. The latter's motivation remains shrouded in haze until the bitter end, appreciably reducing the intensity of the menace that he's supposed to create. By putting 4 children in the thick of the action, Typewriter embraces an unusual bipolarity. It is a series that is rated 16+ and is not meant for the viewers of the age of Samira, Gablu, Bunty and Nick, so the whole adventure mystery fantasy element in the story does not get the play it deserves. On the technical front though, Typewriter is a first rate. The lighting and the lensing by director of photography Garrick Sarkar works wonders, creating just the right atmospherics to drive the series. The original music by Raja Narayan Deb and the production design by Kaushik Das, Subrata Barik and Suresh Selvarajan are also on the money. It is in the matter of plotting the Typewriter occasionally loses the plot, which stops it short of being an unqualified success. Time for a short break, guys. We have Paneer Lababdar coming on the other side. Just kidding. But something just as appetizing. Be right back. Welcome back, Mama and her friends and her friends' friends. This show is for all you yummy mummies in the house. You know, all of y'all are. Matlab, I'm not feeling unnecessarily generous. This show Otherhood is making me again guilty as charged. Trailer देखो फिर बात करते हैं.
What son forgets Mother's Day?
Yeah, buy me some bath salts. Is that so difficult?
I would like one Mother's Day card. A candle, something.
At this stage, it doesn't feel like motherhood. It feels like otherhood.
That is the best description I've ever heard.
What are we gonna do? Drive to Manhattan, storm their apartments? Nah, we gotta
Let them individuate, blah, 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 blah. Except it's Mother's Day.
Otherhood is a stage many women experience. Remember those years when the kids have grown and left the house before grandkids have arrived? So why don't we see it more on screen? Producer Kathy Skalman has tried changing exactly that. What is Otherhood? The simplest answer would be that it is motherhood without the M. At the beginning of Otherhood, now streaming on Netflix, the word motherhood comes up on the screen before the letter M falls and tumbles away. It's the first laugh of the film and a nod that this feels like the last laugh for so many women out there who are post-child rearing and pre-grandmothering. But why? Women who fall in this stage of life aren't dead yet, remember? And in today's world of protein shakes, kale salad and power pilates, they aren't even old. So why isn't this stage of life talked about more? Hence the need of a movie that would get people talking. In a nutshell, if I were to tell you, Otherhood is about 3 mothers and best friends who are basically fed up. Their grown-up sons are living their own lives in New York City and can only seem to manage a text message on Mother's Day. So the no-nonsense mothers decided to take matters into their own hands and go on a surprise visit to stay with their sons. As the 3 mothers rediscover the relationship with their children and themselves, what could possibly go wrong? जहाँ तक बात आती है कास्ट की, तो it basically comprises of 3 mothers played by 3 high-power actresses: Felicity Huffman, who plays Helen, Angela Bassett, who plays Carol, and Patricia Arquette, who plays Gillian. अरे सादी Felicity Huffman यार, who recently hit the headlines regarding a high-profile university fee bribery case. She's actually best known for a role in the American comedy Desperate Housewives. Starring with her is Angela Bassett, who recently dominated the screen in Disney's Black Panther. Bassett said that she took on this role in motherhood because she herself is a mother and understands how your life becomes so dedicated to your children. She also praised the importance of firm friendships. The final mother is played by Patricia Arquette, who's well known as Mom in the 2014 Oscar-winning film Boyhood. Other notable names include Jake Lacy, Carol, Becky Newton from Ugly Betty, and Heidi Gardner from Saturday Night Live. The last one in the lot brings a certain quality to my face known as the glow. जी हाँ, बात कर रही हूँ मैं of season 3 of American dramedy GLOW. In the 3rd season of GLOW, the gorgeous ladies of wrestling take their show to Las Vegas in 1986 to stage their hammy fake matches live several nights a week at the Fantan Casino. Given the show's subject matter, that place and that time and era when people unironically appreciated the music of Falco, GLOW could have opted to heighten everything in the show to fluorescent levels. But GLOW does the opposite. It dials down its tone a couple of notches and turns its focus inward, resulting in a terrific season that highlights the forces that can fray a career, even a career in professional performative wrestling. Don't get me wrong, there are still some broad comedy moments, some deliberately silly matches, there's a wedding-themed one, and a surprisingly moving Christmas-themed one, and some very, very big hair. But GLOW is less interested in spectacle and more interested in the mental stakes of its characters. Take a look.
Live from the Fantan Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada, it's GLOW, the gorgeous ladies of wrestling!
So how's Vegas?
Black magic.
7, winner.
Nice, you know? Me being wrong about you hating Vegas.
Business is good. We've sold out for the next 2 weeks.
What do you think of Sandy?
She's the entertainment director.
Have a drink and play a little blackjack on us.
We can keep this up, and the 3 of us stand to make a lot of money here.
Maybe I can push the money into a pile the shape of my son.
Okay, well, I don't really know what to say to that.
I have a job. I have a boyfriend. And somehow I still feel lost.
Maybe you feel lost because you're holding yourself back. I would like to extend GLOW's contract.
The first episode finds the GLOW troupe preparing for their Vegas debut in the wake of the Challenger explosion. The harsh reality that the show must go on despite that tragedy establishes a running theme for the season. The degree to which outside forces will demand attention and cause heartbreak for the ladies stuck within the gaudy confines of the fictional Fantan, where they live as well as perform a show whose run inevitably gets extended. Debbie is constantly feeling the tug towards home and her infant son, Randy, whom she barely gets to see because of her Vegas commitments as both a GLOW star and a producer. Ruth is caught between Las Vegas, which is defined by her focus on the show, and her confusing feelings for Sam, and Los Angeles, of course, where her boyfriend Russell lives and the acting goals she once hoped to achieve still lay unfulfilled. Cherry is, on the one hand, driven by a desire to continue whipping herself and her colleagues into shape, and on the other, committed to starting a family with her husband Keith. Again and again, GLOW emphasizes that life, especially for working women, is about tough choices and compromises that never feel wholly satisfying. The beauty of this season is that these storylines only represent the tip of the iceberg. While the series has always been an ensemble piece with Bree, Gilpin and Marin as its chief stars, this season feels like even more of a team effort that allows every member of the cast time to shine. The light shines especially brightly this season on Gail Rankin Shyla, the she-wolf, who finds a new outlet and some hidden talents when she starts taking an acting class and befriends Bobby Barnes, a gifted drag performer played by Kevin Cahoon. Sunita Mani admirably tackles emotional and delicate material this season as the character Aarti struggles to fully embrace her identity as a lesbian. Bash, who has the hair, wealth and sense of entitlement that should make him a full-on 80s villain, brings a raw honesty to the role, especially in a beautifully acted scene in the finale that makes it impossible to fully resent him. GLOW frequently touches on sensitive issues like characters dealing with their sexuality or pent-up resentment about the ethnic stereotypes their show perpetuates for the sake of comedy, but it always feels completely natural when it does so. Jilpin does a superb dance between frazzled and 80s lady confidence, whether she's confronting a judgmental flight attendant or making a snide comment under her breath. After Debbie has a frustrating exchange with a disengaged Bash who's purposely saving his voice for showtime, Jilpin drops the line, "I wish more men would go on vocal rest," as if she's tossing a tiny grenade on her way out of the door. Both Jilpin and Bree are great on their own and even better together. I'd be remiss if I didn't also mention the greatness of one Gina Davis, who has a recurring role this season as Sandy St. Clair, a former showgirl who now runs the Phantom Casino. Davis projects her wisdom and savviness that immediately puts Debbie on notice that she's a woman from whom she could learn a few things. The Oscar winner fits in perfectly among all these strong women attempting to navigate their way towards fulfillment while wearing leotards and holding the weight of their femininity, and sometimes the weight of literal females on their shoulders. It seems right somewhat that the women who sped off into the Grand Canyon alongside Louise is part of the third season 2, one in which many of GLOW's characters are stuck in the American Southwest and trying to decide if it's time to hit the gas and just leave. And leave to hum maar rahe hain to the newest trailer in town only on Trailer Served Hot. Stay tuned, guys. Guys, welcome to Trailer Served Hot. Guys, मैंने तो देख लिया है newly released trailer of the upcoming film Saho, and I tell you to watch it for number 1 action, and number 1 action, क्योंकि फिल्म का trailer has nothing but number 1 action. Starring South superstar and Bahubali Prabhas and Shraddha Kapoor, the trailer is every inch of cutting-edge visual effects and catchy dialogues coupled with, of course, bombastic action sequences. इसमें श्रद्धा कपूर दिखेंगे as Amrita Nair from the crime branch who's trying to either catch Prabhas or is partnering with him on a mission to uncover the truth behind people who have committed 2000 crore की robbery. ये तो फिल्म देखने पर ही पता चलेगा वैसे, because we are looking at a cityscape that's controlled by dreaded gangsters where a black box is trying to be found and a locker has to be opened which can make someone a billionaire. Produced by UV Creations, the film's budget stands at a crazy 250 to 300 crore. Saho's supporting cast includes Arun Vijay, Jackie Shroff, Vanilla Kishore, Chunky Pandey, Mahesh Manjrekar, Murli Sharma and Mandira Bedi in significant roles. यूं तो पिछले 2 साल से बन रही थी ये फिल्म, but it's all set to finally hit the theaters on August 30th. पर पहले देखो इसका trailer which has been served just hot. See you once again. Till then, it's me, Bhavya.